Hello kids, we'll be continuing with the 17th lesson of water for living. So here we find so many, so today we'll be seeing the life in water, right? So what are the different animals or the plants that live in water, the aquatic plants and animals we are discussing in today's session. Okay, so we find many creatures living in water. Some live in fresh water, some live in seas and ocean, that is salty water, right? So we find turtle, fish, otters, crocodiles, river dolphins and all in big rivers, whereas sea animals, coral reefs, jellyfish, octopus, shark, whale, dolphins, etc. in seas and ocean. So when you take the animals that live in seas, some they are very friendly, whereas the others they are fierce hunters. They'll be having sharp teeth. They may kill. Even if you are going to, when you are swimming, if you are going to wade inside the sea, there is a possibility that the sharks may attack you also. So some are fierce hunters, that is like sharks. They come and bite you, and maybe they even kill you. But some they are very friendly, like dolphins. You have seen in so many places where the dolphins will be playing with human beings. Okay, so these are some of the aquatic animals you find in water. Some they live in fresh water, some they live in sea water or the salty water, right? So when you take the seasonal change, the next we'll be seeing about the seasonal change in water. So you know the level of water, it will not be the same in all season, right? So because most of the water bodies, they are river fed. River fed means because of I'm sorry, not river fed, rain fed. So rain fed means once there is rain, the water level in rivers, ocean, rivers, lakes, ponds and all, they increase. And if you don't have rain for say 2-3 years continuously, then there is a chance that the water slowly dries up. Okay, so the level of the water in the rain fed water bodies, they changes with the season. Okay, so water level when you see in summer, it will be very low, but in monsoon it will start increasing. Okay, so during rainy season in some rivers, the level of the water, it increases in such a way that it will lead to flood. So once a river, the level of the river increase, it start coming out to the land, and then it will cause flood. So in summers the level of water, they decrease, and even during winters also the level will be decreasing slowly, and by summer it will be fully decreased. So in monsoon season the level of river will be increasing because the water, because of rain, the level of water will increase, and slowly in winter they will start decreasing, and finally in summer they will be very less. Okay, so at all when there is heavy rain, then the level will increase much and then finally lead to flood. Okay, so it also depends on how much water evaporates during the summer due to heat of the sun. How much water evaporate, it also depends on that, the level of the water. Okay, mostly the water from the sea, river, lake, ocean, ponds, all this due to the heat of the sun, the water slowly evaporates. So that also will lead to the that also will change the level of water. Okay, now coming to the forms of water in nature. So when you take the form water, it actually in nature water is seen in 3 different forms, that is, one is liquid, solid and gas. When you take liquid, the water as such which you drink, that is in the liquid form. Solid, when the liquid is freezed, then it becomes ice, and that is in the solid form. And when the liquid is heated, you find the water vapor, so or the steam causing water vapor, that is in the gaseous form. Okay, so the water, it changes to water vapor when you heat, and this process we call it as evaporation. When water is heated, it forms the water vapor or changes to water vapor, we call it as evaporation. The process is called as evaporation. And then when the solid is changed to liquid. For example, when the ice, it is changed to water, then we call the process as melting. Okay, the example is melting, when the solid is changed into liquid. Then the water vapor, when it changes back to water. When does the water vapor change to water? When the water vapor is cooled, it changes to water. We call it as condensation. The process is called condensation. And finally, the freezing, that is the liquid when it is changed to solid. That is when you keep water in the fridge, and when that water changes into ice, we call it as freezing. The process is called freezing. So it is evaporation. When you heat water, it forms water vapor, or the water is changed to gaseous form. The process is called as evaporation. Okay. When the solid, that is the ice, when it is changed into liquid, that is water, when the ice is heated, it changed to water. That process is called as melting. Okay. Or if you take the ice and keep it outside the fridge for some time, then you slowly will find the ice is melting and forming water. So that process is called as melting. Then you have water vapor. When the water vapor, when it is cooled, it will change back to water, and that process we call it as condensation. And finally is freezing. Freezing, when the water is changed the liquid form, that is actually water which you drink. When it is changing to solid, solid means say ice. So when water is changing to ice, when you cool it, then the process is called as freezing. Okay. So next we will be seeing about the water cycle. So water cycle is the process where the water is being from the first, the water, they evaporates from the sea, river, ocean, all the water bodies. Due to the heat of sun, the water slowly it evaporates, and they rises above and reaches the atmosphere. And when they are in the cold region of the atmosphere, they condense and form water droplets. Okay. The water, they evaporate, that water vapor, they go up to the colder region and they condense and form water vapor. Water droplets. And this droplets, they join together and form the clouds. And when the clouds become heavy, they slowly come down to the earth as rain, and sometimes as snow, hail, etc. And this, once the rain come down, then it gets collected in the ponds, lakes, rivers, even well, tube well and all. So this river and lakes and all, streams, springs and all, it gets collected, and then slowly they go and release all the water, they join the sea. Again the water, it evaporates due to the sun's heat, and it reaches the atmosphere, it forms droplets of water, then droplets join and form clouds, and then the clouds become heavy and come down as rain. So the process is continuous. The formation of water process is continuous, so we call it as water cycle. Okay. Now coming to water conservation. Conservation, why do you want to conserve water? You all know that water is very precious. If there is no water, then there is no life, isn't it? So you have to be very careful when you use water. You should not waste water. So the careful use of water, we call it as water conservation, right? So water, it is very precious. Because of the increase in population, we find that the water is water is becoming scarce. So many people, they need water. So slowly they start using up all the water, and if you also waste water, then it will lead to the scarcity of water. So you have to conserve the water and keep. So throughout the year you will have enough water for everyone. So for conservation, mostly water, they are stored in dams, reservoirs and also canals. They are built to conserve the water. So dams, they are usually built in big rivers to check the water flow. Okay. And the dams, they collect the water in the reservoir, and this reservoir is actually it is not a natural river or a lake, it is an artificial lake produced near the dam. Okay. And this water, it is always used for, it is used or it is stored for agriculture purpose, and also for domestic uses, that is for drinking, washing, for your household activities also, this water which is stored in the reservoir is being used. Then the dam water is also used for producing electricity, right? So you have canals, I've told you, canals, they are carrying the water to your fields. The rivers, if the rivers are not near your field, then these canals are built to take the river water to your fields. So these are some of the ways where you conserve the water, that is preserve or the store the water for later use. Okay. So now coming to the water conservation. Conservation means how you are going to conserve the water, or you have to first water being very precious, and water is needed throughout, and without water you are not, that is life is not possible on earth. So to conserve water, first thing is you have to use it carefully. You should not waste it. You should prevent wastage of water. Only then you can conserve the water. Whatever water you need to use today, you can use it, but you should not waste it. So we will see, now we'll see the ways to conserve water. Okay. So some of the ways which you can also do in your day-to-day life, like after brushing or while brushing the teeth, don't keep your tap open, or you have to first brush your teeth and then clean your brush. So at that time, while cleaning, you have to open the tap and then use the water. If you leave the tap open, then what happened? The water, it goes waste, isn't it? Nobody is going to use that water. It just goes to the sewage or the drainage system. So the water is wasted. You are not going to use that water. So you have to close the tap. And even when you are in the bathroom, after bathing, if you leave the tap open, naturally again there is wastage of water. So after use, whether it is in the bathroom or in the kitchen or while brushing, after use you have to close the tap. Okay. Then if there is any leakage in your tap or in the pipeline, you should repair it at the earliest. Thereby we will reduce the wastage of water. Okay. Then when you brush, instead of having an open tap, you can use a bucket of water, and with the help of a mug you can brush your teeth. Okay. Even that is same for even taking a bath. Instead of shower, there is lot of water wastage. So instead of shower, if you use a bucket of water with the help of a mug, if you are going to take bath, then there is a good reduction in waste. So ways of conservation, ways of conserving water. So we will be seeing that. So the taps, to conserve water, the main thing is you have to lessen the wastage of water, and also you have to that is use water carefully. You know, water is very precious, so you have to use the water carefully. So now we will see the ways of conserving water, how you will conserve the water. So first thing, you can while brushing teeth or while taking a bath, you should see that you don't keep the tap open, right? So you have to close the tap after it is being used. Then the tap and pipes, when there is a leak, you should see that it is repaired at the earliest, so that we can prevent wastage of water. Then a bucket and a mug can be used while bathing. We can fill water in a bucket, and then using a mug you can take a bath instead of showering, because shower, you know that it is what you say is, much water is wasted when you shower. When you take a shower, much water is wasted. Then the leftover water, whatever water is there in the bottle which you bring to school, the leftover water can be emptied in a potted plant, or you can empty it in a bucket, so that the bucket, when the bucket is full, you can water the plants. Okay, so you needn't go and throw the water away. Instead that you can water any plants, so that the plant also will get water, and your water will not be wasted. Then gardeners, instead of using a hose pipe, they can use a water can, so that less amount of water is being wasted. So this is how some of the ways to conserve water, that is you can prevent the wastage of water. So You have already learned about the sources of water, then what are the animals that live in water. Then I've also taught you the water cycle, how the water from the sea goes up forming cloud and finally coming down as rain and again reaching the sea. So with this we are ending this chapter. So any doubt you can ask in the interactive session. Okay, thank you. Bye.